Welcome back to the third PDC Invitational Fishing Championship. Sports stars and celebrities are battling it out for the title at Manor Farm in Bedfordshire. The morning session and the first of two weigh-ins have finished. It's time for the afternoon's fishing, and for darts player James Wade, there's only one thing on his mind. Now then, James, talk us through your morning.
My morning's going all right. Catching fish, but they're not quite big enough, and I'm beating the wife, so that's the main thing.
But is there any change in tactics? You know, she may be going for a bonus carp this afternoon. And
I guarantee with Samantha, she somehow manages to catch a carp. Guarantee it. She's always been lucky with everything she does, so it will happen.
So you've had to change your tactics now. You're in the quiet corner and you're going for the carp.
Yep, I'm on the bottom and I'm hoping to get one. James is actually beating me at the moment, and I think most people are, and I'm getting really upset.
You had a good start this morning though, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, and you know, I've actually caught a few, but they're only little, so I need a carp. I need the big one.
I think the big fish around the corner just before half-time was a game changer, wasn't it? Everyone was having some fun before, but now with a big fish like that.
Yeah, we know what the competition is now. We keep going around going, what have you caught? What have you caught? So I'm just hoping, I just want to be up there for the girls, you know.
We're now behind the box of Nicky Cook. He's got a nice corner, overhanging trees, and only a total of 4 ounces, but he did lose a carp earlier, and that might be bad news, but there could be a few more around this afternoon.
The feeling is this afternoon that things have changed a little bit. The temperature's certainly dropped, which isn't always a good thing, but the light levels have changed, haven't they? I mean, it's now very dull, it's overcast.
It's coming up to carp o'clock.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And, you know, I mean, it's fairly clear watching Nicky. We know him as a very successful boxer, in fact a former world champion. He was a WBO world featherweight champion some years ago. Clearly a very competitive person, as a lot of these guys are. Watching him fish, the levels of concentration, very high. Now then, Keith, talk us through your morning.
Well, I did plenty of fishing, but I didn't do any catching. Really bizarre. I mean, I'm still sticking to my guns of fishing for bigger fish, because I don't think... Paul Smith had a carp right just before we went to lunch, and I think Steve's the best of the next best, and he's still catching there now, catching roach and stuff. But I don't think there's going to be enough roach caught to beat. I still think 2, maybe 3 carp will win it. They're not responding. High pressure, maybe that's done it. But
It's turned cold too, hasn't it?
2 cold evenings, yeah, 2 cold nights. I mean, I was at a rock concert on Saturday evening, and it was cold. You know, I had a fleece on, and I was glad I had it on. Even though I was bopping to the water boys, it was still quite chilly. And today, all I've got is the fisherman's blues.
Steve Kite now pegged 12, and he had a great opening half of this competition. Fishing for silvers on the pole.
Yeah, finesse
£3.
fishing. Finesse fishing. Second place at the moment, behind Paul Smith. And the interesting thing is going to be how this match develops this afternoon, to see whether he'll change of tactics later on and maybe a bonus carp. You know, Steve's the sort of angler that could well be in with a really good chance of winning this.
Steve, solid performance this morning for the silvers, and you're still there again.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick it out for it's a waiting game at the moment. I'm gonna stick it out for as long as I can, but I need a carp. It's they're not coming fast enough. You know, I'm not fishing really for silvers. I've got a rig on that'll give me a chance of catching a carp. I reckon if I went down to something like 08 and a 20, I'd catch a lot more silvers. But I think you're going to need a carp. You know, it's somebody's going to have a carp. It's these fish are going to switch on. I'm not sure when. It might be the last 5 minutes, but somebody's going to have a carp.
Have you fed a carp line, or are you going to go straight over the top of where you are?
I've fed a couple of carp lines. I've gone down the edge. I've also fed a pellet waggler line that I can either chuck a bomb over or chuck the method feeder over. But I've given myself a chance with the feeding. It's getting that close now. I'm netting every single little fish. I've fed for them, so it's a case of are they going to be there or not. You know, I'll definitely give it a go.
So there's our leader, Paul Smith, pegged 22, with that £6 carp this morning. One of only a couple of carp that have been caught so far. And you can see by his body language, he has a furrowed brow and a cup of tea on the go. Things not going overly well for Paul. He's not had a single indication, not another fish. Now there's a big cheer behind us. Oh, Spencer Oliver, who won last year's event, has just, I think, lost a fish. And in the meantime, Paul continues to sip his cuppa, wondering what to do next.
And we're behind Steve Davis now, peg 15. He had a torrid morning this morning, and we've just been watching his float, not really doing a lot, but there was a little puff of colour came up more or less exactly where that float was. Bang, down it goes. And he's attached to what is commonly known as a zoo creature. This is going to be interesting, Fordy.
I'll tell you what, 6 times world snooker champion, one of the coolest professional sportsmen you have ever seen in any discipline. And I bet you his heart is absolutely thumping. He's got Ian McCulloch next to him, who's a former top 16 world snooker player too. And there's elastic streaming out the end of Steve's pole.
It's trying to get back in the tree, I think,
I
on the left-hand side, isn't it? That's gone boom, straight back in there. He may well be in the tree. If he gets this out, then this could well put him right at the top of the pile.
Big if, very big if. I think the worry is at the moment the fish is snagged. Now, interestingly, this is not the first carp Steve's hooked this afternoon. What we were saying earlier about potentially the carp switching on this afternoon, just spoken to Ian, and Ian says that this is the 3rd carp he's hooked.
Is it?
Little change of tactics.
It's kicking back down now. It's kicking back. I've got a good feeling. My faith is on the Davis now. Yeah. Hear the words of encouragement coming through there. Steve's just saying, if you can keep them moving, there's a good chance of getting them through. And you can see the tip kicking there. That might be a little bit of grinding on one of the branches down there, but there is a chance if you can keep that pressure on.
If you look down at the end of the elastic, you can see that the Dacron attachment that you attach your rig to has just appeared. Now that's a good sign. The rig will be 5, 6, 7 feet deep, depending on. Oh, he's lost
dear.
it.
There it is.
Well, perhaps that was inevitable. So you're on the black. It's heading towards the pocket. It's rattled in the jaws, and it's not dropped.
No, but there would have been a chance that it would have dropped had there not been a tree in the way, and we don't have trees. We make the table out of trees and the cues out of trees, but we don't have them blocking the pockets. It's a stupid game.
Did you ever think that you were going to get that in?
For a split second, I thought yes, because we'd gone to a slightly heavier rig, and Ian had sort of fed the area properly. We'd got a small little perch, and then I lost one. So all of a sudden, it looked like it was happening every time I dropped the line in. But of course, the ignorance is you don't think that there's a tree there. Perhaps a more experienced angler would have immediately gone over there with the pole, I suppose. I don't know, or is it unavoidable that it's just too much elastic for him to get under the tree? I don't know.
The problem is the harder you pull, the harder they pull, Steve.
Well, see.
It's the way it works.
But it's encouraging.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. So and there's plenty of time left yet. So you never know.
You enjoying yourself?
Yes, great. It's been fantastic. It's a wonderful setting here, and from my perspective, it's lovely to see everybody enjoying themselves, but also the enthusiasm. The enthusiasm of Ian is brilliant.
I was going to say, he's quite excited,
I love
isn't
it. I love it. And I came last year, and I'm thinking, what am I doing? And if I came again on my own this year, I'd have just plopped it in. I wouldn't have a clue. Look, he's in his element. It's brilliant. I think next year he should do it because he'd have a great chance.
Sammy Marsh said she wanted to try and get into the carp, and just look at this, patiently just waiting, baiting over the top of the float by the side of that tree, and she is now attached to exactly what she wanted to be attached to, a potential match-winning carp.
I'll tell you what, this will be sending a chill through the heart of a certain James Wade on the other side of the lake. If news reaches him that his wife is playing a big fish, I can't begin to think what he's going to be saying.
The way that's moving water down there, that's a big fish. Letting the elastic do the work exactly. Oh, did you see the size of that tail end?
I did. Oh.
That's towards a double figure fish, that. That's a match-winning fish there.
Well, as we've already seen with poor old Steve Davis over on the other side, it's one thing hooking these fish, the other is getting them out. But very patient, very
Absolutely.
impressive.
She's got it out of the danger zone. It's away from that tree. That was the place where potentially it could cause a problem. And now she's just got to play it out in open water, take her time with it, hope that it's not going to make another dash for that tree.
Some of the big fish you can land on this sort of tackle, they're immense fish, and some of the fish that have grown in commercials like this one to very good size. You think nothing now of being able to land a double on a pole with the right elastic setup and the right rigs.
I'm sure Sammy's been in some pressure situations before now, but never one as pressured as this.
Oh, you are mean.
Yes,
Bob
I am mean.
Hughes.
I am mean. Oh no! Would
Can't
you
believe it.
Oh. Wow, that's actually broken the hook.
Well,
Oh dear.
Get Sammy to show that to the camera. Look at that.
Sammy, this is never an easy conversation to have, I'm afraid. But wow, big fish gone.
I'm absolutely devastated. I can't believe it. It was all coming nicely, all nice and slow, and then it's just snapped. I just got to try and find another one now.
Did the tough bit as well, got it away from the tree? Is that in the middle?
Yeah, that's what I was worrying about, because I thought if it pulls along there, that's it, it's going to go. But I got it right near and then it snapped, so.
Talk us through the emotional roller coaster ride of
It
this
was
fishing
worse
lark.
than being at darts. This means so much to me. Honestly, I'm wounded over that. Absolutely devastated. But it'll be all right. We've still got time.
There's going to be people out there that don't get fishing, that don't
No.
understand the emotions with it or the excitement of it. Was that exciting?
That was exciting. I was trying to stay calm though. I thought, just wait until it's in the net and then I know it's all right. Yeah, it is. I think everyone needs to go fishing to understand all the emotions you go through, and then they'll all enjoy it.